So with the Page of Wands and the Chariot and the Death card, and notice how this stream of major arcana, double major arcanas is coming up. This is something where whenever I get two major arcanas, there's like it's either two things. It's a either tit for tat energy that's equally distributed, or there's a powerhouse, and then, or how should I say this? There's a more um, external and then subtle. There's a louder and a subtle sort of energy going on, mixed in here with Death and the Chariot. So, not in this particular case, I feel like there's two, but that was just a general example. So, you know, you've realized, that sometimes things have to end and you have to move on. And so this could be you traveling out of town or thinking of moving out of state because that is what's on your mind right now. Um that's what you need is the travel and the freedom to move because the Page of Wands is a very action oriented card, and obviously to really be free you have to step outside of comfort zones, not just like, I'm afraid of heights, so let me go, I don't know, on a really high skyscraper or something like that. Like, no, that could be a part of it, but I'm talking about I'm comfortable in life because everybody around me, we're all feeling good, and so we're stuck right here. That's not how this works. If you want that true freedom, you kind of have to step out of that zone, not to abandon people, but to make this cut and decision that this is what it is. And so a Chariot and Death here, and really these past another major arcana that keeps coming up is Judgment and the Empress. You have to really understand your worth and who you are, and that you are worthy of love and the good things in life. And when you when something gets in the way, you have to cut that shit to the core because it doesn't deserve place in your life. A place, a person, people, work, family, friends, a partner, possibly. I'm not encouraging you to just go start cutting people off or this and that, but it's making sure that you're in alignment yourself too. And then now you can assess other relationships better from that place because you're really looking at who you are and you're not lying or making excuses for people because you know what you're about. Because I'm bringing a separate message. A lot of people talk about cut off in order to receive more. Look, you might have good people around you, and so you have to exercise really good discernment, judgment, and have intuition to know if these people are really real around you, and that includes you being real with yourself and your goals, and if they're truly there to help you. Again, you might have, if this was like a relationship, you might have disagreements. um you could be you might have an argument one day, and I'm not talking hitting each other or yelling, but sometimes disagreements can come up. And if you can introduce repair in a relationship and overall it's really good, and this is something you have to really look at, that's worth sitting through. It's like having someone in your life, they might trigger you, sometimes you might trigger them for growth reasons. Again, be very discerning between triggering for growth and just blatant abuse. Going up calling your partner fat is not love. Especially if you're fat too, you gotta look in the mirror and understand who you are before you go around start telling people shit. So you kind of have to slow down there in that regard and breathe. But that is not love to go start calling out people and their insecurities and stuff. That is unless they come up to you and ask. And to maturely respond, you have to be honest about yourself. If you're unhealthy, you might be like, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, so I'm healthy. No, you consume a lot of sugar, you consume a lot of grease, you go out eating a lot. That's not healthy. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's like I've talked with people before. It's so funny how sometimes some people might want a drink, a cigarette here and there, to hit it a little, like to hit it a little bit when it comes to maybe a recreational drug or something like some weed or whatever. And I'm not talking fentanyl, but um these things, and people are like, you're so unhealthy, and they're stuffing fucking Big Macs down their mouth. They're just eating shit, drinking sugar, just all fucking unhealthy. And again, physically, and then emotionally, that's a whole nother story. Because again, health is a holistic thing. So health could come up again, bringing up page one's energy. A lot of. I feel there's a lot going on here with this pile coming up around action, decisions, not knowing, if this is the right thing. And so this is why depth is here, and that backing energy I was talking about of judgment and Empress. When you realize your worth, you'll realize what gets in the way, and it's up to your responsibility to cut off some energy in order to invite that in. So for example, if you want, let me think, if you want to be more happy, and maybe, I don't know, you watch the news, you have to have the strength to go cut off some fucking news, even if it's going to take some minute. Like, okay, rather than watching an hour, I'm going to watch half an hour, 45 minutes. Or if you really want to be that detailed and slow with it, instead of an hour, I'll watch 59 minutes, and then I'll watch 58, and you get the picture. Slowly cutting off what is not truly feeding your growth, your movement, and who you are at the core. Um, Dang, this really intense pile, but I appreciate, and again, I was just pulling some oracle cards in the back. I got quality, strength, and as I was talking, discernment. Discernment is coming up because I think we make the mistake sometimes. We want to try to discern other people, but as I'm starting to learn more and more, who you are is going to help out when it comes to discerning other people, and if that's something you truly want to work with or not. Because it's one thing to be like, oh, this person is narcissistic, this person codependent, they have issues and this and that. But if you can't see how toxic you are in your ways, that's a big issue, and you have a big ass blind spot. And that's just going to fuck you up in the future for future portrayals, relationships, etc. So really take this into account. And I'm just hearing intensity, intensity. So maybe there's a fear of leaving a person or a situation that you have. There's something you're scared of. And again, with ugly duckling, maybe you talk with someone, there's just bringing up insecurities and you don't like it. So this is the time to, you either say something or you just leave this person in the dust. I had a very I had a verbally emotionally abusive uncle, one of them, and especially on the verbal. And it's not, people don't really talk about it, but the way you talk to people, and I know this because I got in trouble in the past of opening my mouth, and I know the consequences of that firsthand. But to experience that from him too, so getting these two different perspectives in, it's empirical. It's very empirical how you talk to people. And again, we're not always going to be talking in perfect dialogue. I get it, but there's a difference between making a mistake or something happening once in a while compared to an actual abuse. And when I was going through that, you could be, because one thing I would experience, for example, I'm interested in, like, exercise and stuff. And so I started when I was younger, and I could be making improvements. Now I could lift heavier weight. I'm moving more, yada, yada, out of nowhere. For example, if I'm like, I could bench 100 pounds now compared to 80, he'll be like, yeah, but you gotta work on your cardio because you don't want to be big or lose this. And then it's like, fuck. And then I'd play that game, and then it's like, fuck yeah, I just beat my running record, and then be like, well, you can't run too much or else you get shin splints and this. And it's like, damn, nigga, what the fuck do you want? Nothing ever fucking satisfies you. And he was a dissatisfying, just negative individual to be around or talk to. And that's the power that words, sound, and the way we talk to people affects us and ourselves. This isn't something we generally like to talk about or is easy to talk about, especially when it comes up with family, but nonetheless can hurt. So if someone has hurt you, it's time to move on from that relationship. I'm sorry. You have no other choice here but to move on from it once someone crosses certain boundaries with that. And it might hurt because it's family, but fuck it. It doesn't matter. Because again, you're here with God and Source, that they're here to help you, and you're here on a different kind of path and purpose. And if that means some family members got to go, again, there's plenty of examples of people in the Bible having to leave families in order to pursue their purpose. King David was chosen out of his family to leave. Was it Joseph or Jacob? I can't remember. It might be Joseph. Um, but there's more examples that I can't even think of right now. And even Jesus had left his family and said, if you weren't willing to leave your family, you're not worthy of me. Because sometimes family is the biggest problem and blockage that God will put in your life. And I'm sorry to say it like this, and no one told you before, but it just is the truth that sometimes you have family could just get in the way. There's a lot that goes on, with family. And I understand this is something a lot of us might hold a lot of value to, but we have to see the truth one day. And this is something you're starting to realize. And so if you have an opportunity to go move, whether it's actually physically moving places or just being more free out there, here's an opportunity to do so. And so I have 2 oracle cards before I leave. I just want to say congratulations for moving on. It was difficult. And if this is something you're questioning, I'm here to help you know that get connected with who you are and your values before you start like I'm gonna go cut this person off, I'm gonna go cut this off, being too eager to cut cords. So, you know, once you get connected to that, it will become apparent in your life. Like there won't even be a choice. It's like, oh shit, I have to really cut this off. So I have an oracle card of Earth, talking about getting connected with values, and I have another oracle card of personal truth. Again, your personal truth and your values is something you live by, so you have to be connected to that. I'm feeling led to read the personal truth card. The Earth Element card just sits there itself because, as I was talking about getting connected with nature values, these are themes of, the Earth, anyways. And so, even as I've said, the affirmation exercise, taking a walk in nature, or just a simple walk. If you can't go in the woods, there's a park, wherever you could walk, anyways, your neighborhood, etc. So, where is it? Right here. I'm going to be reading out of the Oracle book for this card, A Personal Truth. And the name of this deck is the Crystal Alley Cards Evolution Edition. So, the message of, oh man, Amazon Night, if I pronounce that right, when Amazon Night appears in your card layout, it's reminding you of the importance of expressing your personal truth through both your words and your actions. Very two powerful energies here. If you live your life according to your truth, you will gain a sense of trust in yourself and your motives. By speaking your truth, you will gain greater self awareness and you'll help others to understand you and themselves more fully. Your path will become clearer when you cease living your life to please or appease others. By expressing your feelings and your higher perceptions, you can help others to perceive things of which they were not previously aware. These communications can facilitate their spiritual growth as well as your own. It is not always easy to speak up, especially if you know that someone may not be pleased with what you have to say, but it may help you gain clarity about yourself and the situation and reclaim your personal power. The current situation will not be resolved or freed to move until you have stated your truth. Have you been hiding your feelings to keep from rocking the boat, quote unquote? Or perhaps you're being asked to take a stand before everyone, declaring your personal truth and to make it a reality. Allow the frequency of Amazon Night to resonate deep with your heart and throat chakras and call upon the spiritual warrior's weapon of personal truth, knowing that in declaring your mind and heart, your way forward will be made clear. It hit perfectly. So spiritually, if I'm going all, I know I was going all over the place. There's a lot of energy unpacked here. I know this is a very powerful, powerful pile, but if you want to take one thing away from this, if I said a lot, get connected to your personal truth. And again, personal truth not meaning like, oh, this is my opinion on a topic, but personal truth meaning, you know, this is what God has me led to do. The environment around me might not agree with what I'm doing, but I have to move forward anyways. So there's that action there. And also, as I was saying earlier, um, I've learned a lot when it comes to my own physical fitness journey and starting young. And I was saying earlier, you'll get hate and stuff from your family. You'll be doing like physical, taking care of myself. How are you mad that I'm taking care of myself? And it's like, no matter what I do, like, you know, as I was giving the examples earlier, oh, you're lifting too much. Your cardio is going to suck. Oh, your cardio sucks. You know, you don't want to get skinny. And it's like, how sad of you as a person that you're all over the place and you can't just enjoy physical fucking movement. And it did discourage me a little bit. Like, I'll be honest, it was discouraging to fucking hear any sense of growth. And someone looks and they're like, yeah, well, you know, you could do better. And not even for a good reason. Like, it wasn't a coaching way. Everything was fucking negative and there was no sense of anything. And yes, when you're growing, there's a certain level of not, I shouldn't say dissatisfaction, but seeing where you can improve. But there's a difference between seeing what you can improve and just blatantly being fucking negative. And so over time, though, as I grew to love, you know, my body more, my movement, because again, I had experienced sexual abuse, and so that inflicted when it came to my physical fitness journey, honestly. And so now where I'm at the place, physically more healthier, I enjoy moving, you know, I enjoy my body, etc., things like that. And that other individual is not, and they tumbled down. And again, you hold that negativity if that's all you speak, that's all you think, that's all you do, that's all you feel. And I'm not saying this in a very rude way because I was a person that was super negative. I've hurt people. I've wanted to kill myself too, and and I'm just saying very simple things to kind of paint the picture of the kind of negativity I held. But regardless, to be better, to, you know, move on and do better, there is a decision at the end of the day that you have to make. And so I just decided what made me different from them is I was like, well, fuck it. You know, I'm already improving. Let's, you know, just keep this boat going. And in the long run, I end up in a better place and they don't. Not that that makes me necessarily chosen more than him to earn anything. Because again, we're all capable of doing, accomplishing great things, as weird as that sounds. The potential, I mean. But again, there's potential, then there's action. And the action for most of us to do these things is not going to be highly likely, but the possibility is there. The only difference is I took action on it and persisted. They didn't. That was a lot to unpackage, but I hope something I said helped. Something I read helped. I have faith in you, Pyle. And if you just break this one moment, just move forward, break through this problem, I guarantee you, you will be happy and successful.